Bellingen High School Health and Wellbeing Committee by Jemma Boswell. As technology continues to grow and advance each and every day, young people of Australia are being exposed to an increasingly higher amount of screen time. Is this good or bad? So what is the issue? Due to increased screen time, rates of social and emotional mental health are increasing in school-aged children. Why did I personally choose this health issue? It is an issue I see around me everywhere. Technology taking over, young people relying way too much on it, and seeing it hinder people's social life. Why is it a relevant issue to Bellingen High School? After some research, it was clear to me that this health issue was of growing concern to the school community. Let's take a look at what the issue is at a small community level. Bellingen High School. It is located in the Bellingen Valley, mid-north coast, New South Wales, and draws students from a number of small, scattered and varied rural communities. When I began flipping through some of Bellingen High School's newsletters and searching their website, I came to find that this health issue was that of a concern to the principal, staff and parents of this school. I, having attended this school from 2006 to 2011, saw this issue beginning to rise myself. We started with only limited computer time each week, but ended with computers in many classrooms, laptops being handed out to students, and students walking around constantly on their mobiles. Here are some examples of articles found in newsletters or on the school website over the last year or so that reiterate concerns of increased screen time among school-aged children. While these are mostly about social media safety, social media is a major contributor to the amount of screen time used amongst young people. If these are the types of articles being posted, it is clear that the principal is deeming screen time and the effects it has on his students a relevant health issue to the school community. So this first article is about the concerns of students sending images of themselves to other people. Once photos are sent, it is an almost instant push of the button to forward them. This can have devastating effects on young people's social and emotional well-being, including humiliation, bullying, or even sexual assault. This next one is much the same, but more aimed at helping parents to address the issue of a photo posting social media site called Instagram. This last one, again, is a guide to parents of the effects of screen time, what to do about controlling it, and some expert tips for the parents. So what is the big picture? What does the wider community and experts have to say about the issue? While there is no evidence to suggest that children enjoy physical activity any less than previous generations, there is a wider choice on the modern leisure menu. So with a variety of screen-based activities on offer in this ever-advancing technological world, the Australian Institute of Sport graph on the right shows the increase in screen time amongst young people and its relation with time spent on sport or play. So this blue colour here is screen time in relation to these smaller amounts of sport or locomotion play. We can see that screen time is taking over that in both boys and girls. So why is this happening? Let's take a look at the effects screen time has on the brain. This is a short video of an interview with Dr. Joe Dispenza, a high-profile neuroscientist, about the effects of technology has on children.
And we know that when children play computer games, that when they blow up the fort, or they shoot somebody, or they punch someone, or they overcome some level, that there is a release of dopamine in the brain. Now, dopamine is the pleasure chemical. And when they release this chemical after they've overcome some obstacle, the repetition of releasing that dopamine over time, that thrust of chemicals, causes the receptor sites on the outside of the cells to become desensitized in the brain, which means that the pleasure centers in the brain start to be recalibrated to a higher level. So they need to play more to get the same high that they got from the last game. Now that sounds like an addiction to me, because as the pleasure centers keep going higher and higher, it takes more of something to turn them on. Now here's the point. In the absence of playing that game, they can't experience pleasure from anything.
According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, in a health survey conducted in 2011 to 12 on 5 to 17-year-olds, Fewer than 1 in 3 in this age group met the no more than 120 minutes of screen-based entertainment per day. In this same study, children aged 5 to 17 years spent on average nearly 1.5 hours per day watching TV and close to half an hour a day using the internet for non-homework purposes. In addition, boys spent over half an hour playing in electronic games, while girls a mere 8 minutes. This may be due to the fact that as children get older, they are more inclined to get involved with social media, as well as using screen-based activities such as Xboxes, computer games, and TVs as an avenue for socializing. What does that mean for their social, emotional, mental health? Recent studies found that children and adolescents who are spending excessive amounts of time on screen-based activities experience adverse mental and social health issues such as loneliness, depression, or depressive symptoms, higher prevalence of withdrawal and anxiety, internet addiction, low attachment and reduced times with parents, siblings or peers, and they are more prone to cyberbullying. An article in the Australian issue of The Guardian reports that increased screen time leads to an increased risk of disengagement and vulnerability to victimisation, poor social skills, and an impaired ability to express empathy. Social media is a predominant part of children and adolescents' lives and can account for a large amount of their screen-based activity time. A Bupa Health article says social media may affect vulnerable or troubled teenagers who are heavily dependent on social networking and their online friends. Facebook and other social media sites provide a skewed version of what's really going on. So what are the future social and emotional health risks of a screen-based world to our young population? Can all this time spent in front of computer TV screens, talking to people through typing or playing against them in games, really be good for our young people in preparing them to be socially and emotionally healthy people in the future? Increased screen times can lead to a future of, just to name a few, decreased sensitivity to emotional cues, losing the ability to understand the emotions of other people. The displacement of in-person social interaction by screen interactions seems to be reducing social skills. Social phobia, which already accounts for 5.4% of mental health disorders in teenagers. If screens become the predominant method to calm and distract young children, will they be able to develop their own internal mechanisms of self-regulation in the future? So the evidence collected indicates that an increased screen time is creating adverse social and emotional health issues impacting on the students of Bellingen High School. So it's time to propose a plan to help address the issue. What have other schools proposed to try and tackle this issue? A lot of schools have a mobile phone policy of some sort in action. It may be a no-use policy or one like Bellingen's High School's often out-of-sight policy already in place. They might provide parents with the Outsmarting the Smart Screens information booklet, or there's a screen-free camp in Southern California aimed at recording students' abilities to identify emotions through nonverbal cues. How can I justify that my plan is appropriate? In proposing my plan to tackle this health issue, it was important to ensure the implementation of the Health Promoting Schools framework, which consists of 3 components: curriculum, teaching and learning, school organisation, ethos and environment, and partnerships and services. The aim of using this framework is to develop a coordinated whole school approach to planning and delivering positive and comprehensive activities, programs, policies and environments. Throughout the plan proposal, you will see the connections made between these 3 components and my plan to address the issue. A whole school approach recognises that all aspects of the school community can impact upon students' health and well-being, and that learning and well-being are inextricably linked. Children spend much of their lives at school, and by developing a plan that follows students through their whole high school experience, they are constantly offered the opportunity to develop social skills, develop healthy relationships, and be educated on the issues of too much screen time and its effects. The involvement of the whole school in the camps and the policies shows a focus to the whole school rather than just an individual level. Curriculum, teaching and learning. What do I want taught and learnt? I want to teach students the importance of decreasing screen time, provide students with ideas for engaging in activities that don't involve screens, and give them a detox from screens and social media. I want to promote positive peer relationships, positive teacher-student relationships, and explicit teaching related to emotions, social knowledge, and social skills. I want leadership and collaboration skills when working in groups or teams, but most importantly, have students participate in activities that will require them to learn and develop social and emotional skills in 5 key areas: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship, and social decision-making. When developing this plan, these points were taken or linked to the health and physical education curriculum for years 7 to 12. So this diagram shows the link between the social and emotional learning skills and the personal and social capabilities from the Australian curriculum. Curriculum teaching and learning. How will this be taught and learnt? I want to have a screen-free outdoor education camp. The camp will run in the 3rd week of the school year for years 7, 9 and 11. The camp will go for 3 days and will be held at a youth outdoor camp in northern New South Wales, where all resources are provided. After the camp, students will be required to participate in 3 follow-up sessions per school term held at the Bellingen Youth Hub that will reiterate, assess and encourage the continuation of activities non-screen based related. How will I know how successful the plan is? I will conduct a before and after survey that have questions such as: how many hours a day do you spend looking at a screen? How many hours a day do you spend socialising? How many non-based leisure sport activities do you do a week? And how beneficial was the camp for you? Students will also be required to keep a diary expressing their ideas towards their development of social and emotional skills, updated each year to show personal progress. The follow-up sessions will involve a discussion of how students feel their camp experience changed their social and emotional skills. School organisation, ethos and environment. Bellingen High School already has an off and out of sight policy, but with rising concerns for health issues related to screen-based activity, it was time to revise this plan of action. The screen-free outdoor education camp was added to the policy plan of action to deal with not only reducing screen time, but teaching students social and emotional skills in a fun and exciting environment. Teachers, students and parents were asked to a session to revise the computer laptop time, came to the conclusion that it would be limited to school-based work only. To ensure that the new screen-free camp was not the only time of focus on the issue, it was decided that a variety of lunchtime competitions of team-based games will be held throughout the year, as well as lunchtime social clubs. Everyone is welcome and invited to help develop social relationships. Partnerships and services. How will I get everyone involved? Parents will be invited to a seminar where they will be educated on the rising social and emotional health issues of too much screen time. They will be given information on the proposed plan of the outdoor education camp and given the opportunity to revise and make suggestions for the plan. They will also be given ways in which they can assist in controlling the issue from home. Students in the whole school will be involved in the plan. Throughout their 6 years, they will attend 3 camps. All students will be included in the policy changes, and students will be required to participate in follow-up sessions. Teachers and staff will be required to participate in the camp's activities, follow school policies themselves, and set an example to their students in relation to the health issue. The community. Bellingen Youth Hub organisers will be asked to come into the school and do a talk to encourage students to use their facilities and participate in activities that they hold at the local hub. Local businesses will be invited to help in fundraising for the cost of camps by the donation of prizes for raffles and competitions. It is the teachers, parents and community's role to set a good example, educate students on the effects of too much screen time, and provide opportunities to be involved in non-screen based activities. But at the end of the day, it is the students' responsibility to put this to use their knowledge and understanding. Thank you for listening to this presentation.